Welcome to Fitzdog Radio. I am your host, who's a little bit drugged up right now. I got knee surgery this morning. No big deal. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out. Now, I had a torn meniscus, and they went in arthroscopically. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get there, and they drugged me up, cut me up, and gave me some painkillers, which I'm on right now. So this is going to be a short intro, if I can even stay conscious. And here's the best part is I went under, and all I'm thinking before I went under is, all right, make sure you ask them about physical therapy later. Ask them. I woke up, and apparently the first thing I said was, did I fart? Did I fart at all? That was my concern. Yeah, apparently I didn't. But I had the night before, so I was thinking about it. But yeah, so I'll be up and running. Tomorrow, I'll be on an exercise bike for 10 minutes, no resistance, and I'm supposed to add 2 minutes every day until I hit 30 minutes, and then I can start doing fucking squats, baby. Get my ass back. Obviously, it was a big day here. This weekend, we won the World Series. Which is so great. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't sit around watching Dodgers games year round, but I watch the whole... I've always been a postseason everything. Football is the only thing I really watch all season. But otherwise, postseason, so exciting, such a great team. And just, being in LA when it happened, I had 3 shows on Saturday night. And so I got to my first show and the game was in the 9th inning when I went on stage. And then I got off stage and it had gone to extra innings. And then I got to my next show and we were down. And then I got to my final show and I had like a half an hour before I went on where I watched the thrilling conclusion. It was so great. I was at the Comedy Store, and there's this patio out front on Sunset, and there was hundreds of people packed around this TV set and went bananas. And, yeah, it was great. It was a great weekend for sports in LA. We won. The Chargers won. The Rams won. The Ducks won in hockey. We won the fucking World Series. And, and again, like I'm from New York. I grew up a Giants Mets fan. And, but I've been here 25 years. I'm not the guy that's going to stay a Giants fan when they only telecast 2 Giants games a season. No, I'm going to watch the team I get to watch. I'm going to be a fan of the team that's on every Sunday. So, yeah, all right, we'll get through this. Let's get through this. I also, big shout out to Best Buddies, which is the group I work with. They help people with intellectual disabilities. Donate money there if you have some at the end of the year, bestbuddies.org. I did a lot of fundraising for them this year to the point where I was a champion candidate, which means, we did our Best Buddies benefit show last Sunday. I can't remember if I must have talked to you guys after that. But then we had a gala event on Wednesday night where they honor the top 10 fundraisers, and I was one of them. And so we went, and Annie Letterman came out. My buddy, the guy that I mentor, the comedian that I help, who's a buddy, he was there with his family, and Chris Tenney. And it was just a great night. It was a great night. And it was just funny seeing like the celebrities that have emerged from Love on the Spectrum. Like, cause there was a lot of people with disabilities that were there. But some of them get up and speak and they were on Love on the Spectrum and like the place goes bananas. And, and if you watch the show, it's an amazing show. You have to watch it. Some of the big names from that were there. It was very cute. And then there's a woman named Franny Scheinbeck, I think her name was, but she calls herself Flava Fran, and she She has Asperger's, and she is a rapper. She calls herself the Rapping Jew, and she got up and she did a rap, and I talked to her after the show for a long time, and she was just so fucking funny, like really funny and sharp, and she was making some dark. I won't repeat the dark jokes she was making, but I was really glad to meet her, and we've been DMing each other. I'm going to try to get her on stage doing stand-up at some point. What else? I had a whole bunch of like bits I was going to try to do, but I'm going to save them for next week because I don't feel it. I feel like I need to sit in front of the TV. All right, so dates coming up this weekend. I'll be fine. I'll be 100% in Chicago at the Den Theater on November 8th. Appleton, Wisconsin at Skyline Comedy Club November 9th. Lafayette, Louisiana, Club 337 on November 12th. Then I'll be in Skankfest that week. Phoenix coming up. San Francisco, Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, Cleveland, Atlanta. Go to Fitzdog.com, get some tickets, come out, see some live comedy. Also, the holidays are coming up, and I like to think that I give you guys some good leads on things, but this particular Christmas, I want to talk about a company that is called Uncommon Goods. And it's basically a lot of handcrafted, independently owned. It's, like little artists that make stuff that's one of a kind, where you buy a gift for a family member where they're not going to, it's not from Banana Republic. They know you thought about them. You got them something very specific. They have these bound books that give the history of different sports teams. And my brother-in-law is a Jets fanatic. So I got him this Jets book, and they engrave it with his name, and it makes him feel, they remember you, which is, I'm so tired of giving disposable gifts. So they got all different categories of stuff. If you are a foodie, if you are a mixologist, moms, dads, kids, everything, book lovers. They got stuff for everybody. But because it is limited supplies, because these are from artists, you should get on it sooner than later. I got something really nice for my daughter that I'll talk about later because I think she's in the next room. I don't know if she can hear me. So anyway, Uncommon Goods also gives back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice when you buy something. They've donated more than $3 million to date, so you can feel good about that as well. Don't get pushed into that last minute thing where you're rushed and you're just buying gifts starts to feel like it's a to-do list, which isn't how it should feel. This feels special. Get involved, so don't wait. Make this holiday the year you give something truly unforgettable. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/papers. That's uncommongoods.com/papers for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Okay. Let's get to it. My guest this week is a guy that, he hails from Boston like me, and I think there's a certain brotherhood when you started comedy in the same town, especially when it's Boston at the time when we started. And he is just truly, he's a comics comic. I don't mean that to sound like he's not a club comic. He's both. He's a guy that, has been doing it for, God, longer than I have. And, HBO specials, Comedy Central specials. He was a writer for The Simpsons for a long time and created a show called Stand Against Evil on IFC, which I loved. But just really a guy that I respect so much. Always so happy to have him back on the show. He's a dear friend, and we had a really good talk last week. So here he is, Mr. Dana Gould. My guest right now is the incomparable, always funny, Sad man, Dana Gould.
How are you?
Good. You have to
somebody-
excuse me. Eddie Pepitone just was here 2 hours ago. So
you're
I'm
still-
dark. I'm
Yeah,
dark
let's
right
understand.
now. Yeah.
Somebody said to me, like,
Pull that mic a little closer.
somebody said to me on a comment on something, thank you for starting your HBO special with, hello, I'm Dana Gould and I'm in a lot of pain. That helped me a great deal. And I don't remember that. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, it's like when I do Marin's podcast, I did Marin, and he was like, you and Maria Bamford are really the two that like openly dealt with mental health issues,
Right.
and kind of beat it. And I'm like, what?
Beat it?
But like, I didn't realize like it was that. I just thought everybody was like that. I think,
Yeah.
no, I didn't know I was that singular. I'll put it that way.
Well, you are, but I'm trying to think of like.
Oh, was.
I
I think of myself as somewhat normal now.
well, now you're doing a lot of politics,
Just
which
a regular guy with 3 nipples.
right.
Like Christopher Lee in The Man with the Golden Gun. I'm just a regular guy with a monkey talk show. What's up with you, Greg?
Yeah, the Monkey Talk Show. I think I saw the incarnation of that. I think the first time you did it, we were going up to San Francisco.
Yeah, that's what it was.
To do Sketchfest, and
what
you
it
had
was.
it, and you were very nervous about what is this gonna work? And
Yeah.
so explain what that is to people.
Okay, for that, I have this thing. It's not a side. People say it's like a side career. No, it's just a hobby. It's like golf. I don't like. It's people paint. You have people like Stephen King is in a terrible garage band called the Rock Bottom Remainders.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, or like other people like Cormac McCarthy painted. Like it's just my hobby is creative, and we had this idea 100 years ago. I had this idea when I was writing on the Ben Stiller show for the Dumont Network to do Planet of the Apes the musical as a sketch,
Yeah.
and it was just a commercial for it. Like when Rent comes to the Amundsen, they have the commercial, and it would have been easy to shoot. And because I wanted to get in the makeup, because I was a fan of the movies, and I knew Ben was a fan of the movies, so a sketch would get made. We got canceled before we could do it. The other sketch was, because you have to, if you're going to spend that much money on a sketch, you've got to get you got to milk it.
Right.
So there was a second sketch was from the producers of Planet of the Apes, the musical, Dr. Zaius is Mark Twain tonight. And saying, shoot it at once, you get 2 sketches.
Yeah.
And then 10, 15 years go by, and I was talking to John Hodgman, and it came up in conversation, and he went, oh, would you do that on my show at Sketchfest? And I was about to say no.
Wait, do it because you still had the costume?
I never
from
had
it?
the costume. I never had the costume.
Oh.
Ben Stiller show had a makeup guy.
Yeah.
But I'm friends with a lot of those people because I'm
Right.
a monster movie nerd.
Yeah.
And I said, I was about to say no, and then I said, give me a minute. Because I did think, I'll tell you the idea. So I called Greg Nicotero, who is the executive producer of The Walking Dead. He does all of Quentin Tarantino's makeup in those movies. He does, he's
Wow.
a huge, huge guy, huge makeup effects guy. And I call him up, and I was like, this was the conversation. Hey, do you have anybody over there that can do a movie quality Dr. Zaius makeup on me in San Francisco? Like, we'll fly him up and put him up and pay him and everything. Hang on. Yeah, Andy, he'll do it. That was it. That was it. And so I did it. And what I thought was, this is pretty inside baseball, but like I knew when I came out, the idea would get a laugh. Just the idea. But then I thought, when they see that it's not just a mask, that it's actually exactly what they think of in the movies,
Right.
and I actually know how to do Mark Twain, I'm going to get a much deeper, bigger laugh. And I literally wanted to see if I was correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was. And
Wow.
that was really good. It was quite an extensive. And then I did it a couple more times at like a political benefit. Somebody wanted me to do something. And then during the pandemic, Rob Cohen, who was my office partner at the Ben Stiller Show, said
Jill Lederman's husband.
Jill Lederman's husband. I was with him last night.
Yeah.
Said, why don't we do this as a talk show during lockdown, because we were going insane. So we did it like Space Ghost with people on a TV, and did it. And it was just
great.
Yeah, and that was the origin of that. But
and now you go all over the country doing it.
I do. Yeah, I now have I now have a very, very expensive mask.
Yes.
That I can do that looks like makeup. It works like makeup.
How does the mask travel?
In a very large, like equipment case.
Yeah.
Like an accordion case. Like a big case.
Yeah.
And there's glue and there's paint. There's makeup and glue and wigs involved.
And you do all that yourself?
If I'm filming it, I do regular makeup still. But if I'm on the road, I have that. Yeah. And I don't think you would be able to tell the difference.
So
I can tell the difference.
Do you get picked up from the hotel wearing the mask and makeup?
No.
You do it at the venue.
And they say like, when I was in Moon Tower, Colleen was like, just put the makeup on it. No. Absolutely not.
I'm not walking through a lobby.
I'm not walking around Texas. Dressed as an ape. It's one of the, I don't know. I mean, I have so many conversations with my manager that begin with, like, I tell him what I'm doing and it just starts with, but I like that. Do you watch The Chair Company?
No.
It's by the guy that did I Think You Should Leave.
Oh, okay.
Andy.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
He's great.
Thank you. Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people look at that and go, it makes me uncomfortable. But I love it so much.
I love him so much.
Yeah, and it's just I don't mind. Like when Joel Hodgson came up with Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
I was with him when he pitched it to Comedy Central. Yeah. And he said, like, not everybody will get it, but the right people will get it. And I've taken that to an obscene degree.
Who is the person who gets it? Describe them.
It's me. Andy Kindler summed it up. Yeah. My audience is men my age who are me. Yeah. And then you do your regular stand-up, which you hope appeals to more people. But your audience grows with you, you know.
Oh, you're saying you dress up as this guy and then do your regular stand-up?
No. Then I was saying then when I do my regular stand-up, it's a different thing. It's a bigger audience.
Yeah.
But it's still your audience still stays with you.
Right.
Like I love Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
And I've moved to LA in 1989, and I see Elvis Costello every time he comes to town.
Yeah.
And it's the same people in the audience. And you see, oh, that guy got fat. Oh, that guy got bald. Oh, that guy. Oh, he looks good. He must have, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
That's
it's
funny.
the same audience. Yeah.
Best Elvis Costello album?
Mine?
Yeah.
Favorite one? There's, I think King of America is his greatest album. But if you were introducing somebody to him, I would give them This Year's Model.
Yeah, This Year's Model.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a jukebox of great pop songs.
Yeah, and all of them just like a line drive.
Yes.
Just like no filler on that at all.
Tight, hard album.
I saw him the first time I saw him in 1985 or 6 in Boston at the Beacon.
Yeah.
And they came out, they played the first song, I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea, and then they played 19 other songs, and they never said a word, and they walked off.
Yeah.
And I thought that's how you do that.
Yeah.
And,
I think the Ramones were the first ones to do that.
Yeah. And just like, boom. And that is why, like, even with, like, I was never one of those people that, remember when stand-up was like, I did 7 hours.
Yeah.
Like Dane Cook and Dave Chappelle were
Right,
saying,
right.
like, I did the most stand-up before infinity. No, do it. Get off at 60 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit 'em in the face and
50.
leave.
I do 50.
Yeah.
If I'm killing and it's a magic crowd, I'll do 60.
Yeah.
But 50 is the right amount.
Yeah.
I also think Elvis Costello has the best between song patter
Yes.
of any performer.
But there was nothing. Oh, you know who was pretty great also? Did you ever see Tom Waits?
Oh, yeah.
Tom Waits is hilarious.
Yeah.
Tom Waits is hilarious.
I saw him do a show where it was just him and there was dust on the stage.
I saw that show too.
And the overhead light.
Was that at the Wiltern?
Yeah.
I saw that show. Yeah,
that
the Mule Variations
Yeah,
tour.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and there was a woman in the front that was like doing hippie dancing.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're the wrong concert. This is like the audience for this show is like off-duty organ grinders. It's like, just guys, I hope the monkey's okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, guys that put a resume together to work as a carny.
Yeah, but I love that. I mean, I love that era of show business, like the big old blocky microphone or a bullhorn.
Yeah.
Like I love, stand-up is a gutter art form, and I like to keep it that way. That's why stand-up works best where it doesn't belong. Stand-up works best in a bookstore.
Yeah, right.
Or, you need physical things, a low ceiling and
Right.
stuff. But, you get these Diamond Vision screens and you're working in the enormous...
God.
These rooms are, as Drake Sather used to say, you can't see the back of the room because of the curvature of the earth. And it's just like...
Yeah. No, but these guys that are doing arena shows, and I've done shows with Bert Kreischer where it's 15,000 people. And you walk on stage, and there's a huge screen behind you, and you start doing your act, and, you got to give it a little more time for them to all... And then they laugh, and then you do another joke, and then they laugh, and then you go for 15 minutes or whatever you're supposed to do, and then you say goodnight, and they cheer, and you walk off, and you feel like you're floating, like there was no contact at any moment whatsoever.
Yeah, that is. I've done outdoor shows, like festival shows with a lot of people, but I've never done anything like that. And what is. I like Goldthwait opened for Adam Sandler, and the last show in the venue was The Who.
Yeah.
And then it was Adam Sandler.
Right.
I don't know how, but those guys are used to it. I guess it's fine for them. But even at their peak, like Steve Martin, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, who were to me like the biggest. I couldn't imagine being bigger than that. Their peak was like 3,000 people in the theater.
Right. Yeah.
That was the most that those guys
And the ticket
did.
prices were reasonable for them.
There was like
people were paying
$15.
People were paying $100 to sit in an arena and watch an act. And, to me, it's like, all right, you think about comedian like Eddie Pepitone I was just talking to, and I was like, I was kind of busting his balls. Like, you're one of the best comedians around, and yet you're playing his I'm plugging his dates. It was like the Elks Club in Oregon. I was like, and then you look at why is it that some people can play arenas and some people play the Elks Club, and it has almost inverse to do with how good of a comedian you are sometimes. Yeah. And I'm not knocking Bert. Bert
Bert's
does.
Great. Yeah,
Bert is great.
They're all great. I'm not jealous of anybody. I like God.
No, I'm
bless.
just.
No, I know you're not either.
I'm just trying to deconstruct what it is, and you think about it as it's not always what's happening on stage; it's what's happening in the crowd.
Yeah.
Is there a collective something that happens where people go, "This guy makes me feel good," or "This guy makes me feel like an outlaw," or "This one makes me."
I don't know Matt Rife. I've never met Matt Rife. If he walked in here, I probably wouldn't recognize him. I think that people go to his shows because it's a community thing. Like, we are angry guys that feel aggrieved.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have to be polite to people. We miss that. and it's sort of bias confirmation more than a stand-up show.
Yeah.
And, you know, and in terms of the crowds, I always imagine, like, how did Leonard Cohen feel looking at where Kiss was playing?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, it's like you and Eddie, I think, are similar in the sense that you're very specific in what you do. You're very true to yourselves. And I think that for me, you're the kind of comics I want to see more than anybody else, because there's something so raw about it, and yet there's the craftsmanship of having done it for as many years.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And I don't know, and you're in this category too. It's always great when I see somebody new that really knows how to do it.
Yes.
And there are people, and they will go nameless, that are young comedians that I really like, that I'm friends with, that I support, and I look at them and I go, you don't know how to do this.
Yeah, right.
But it's okay because the audience doesn't know it.
Right.
You know, the audience is a different, you know.
You mean the audience likes
fine.
them?
Yeah, the audience is fine.
Right.
But it's just like, I could see where that joke was.
Yeah.
And you didn't make the joke. It's like
Right.
you had a bowl of flour with an egg in it and you said it was a cake. But no, it's not. You have what you need to make a cake, but this is not a cake. But people love it anyway. So it's like, you know, more power to you.
Yes. But it's really like when you see somebody who comes along, like, you know, I saw this kid, Marcelo, he's on SNL now, and I saw him do stand-up, and I mean, I think he'd been doing it for 4 years, and I was just like, fuck you, man. You can't be this good.
Yeah.
But the thing was, he said to me, dude, I love you. I love that special you did, Life on Stage, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and then he knew everybody in the room.
Yes, they're students of it.
Yes.
They're students of it. Yeah, I know. I've met those people too, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, you know how to you know how to structure a joke. You know how to write a joke. And that's, you know, it's so funny making a weird analogy. That's what the song "Who Are You" is about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's about when Pete Townsend met the Clash.
No shit.
Yeah. And he met the Clash, got drunk and passed out, and was woken up the next day by a cop.
Oh, no shit.
And he was like, "But thank God somebody out there knows what this is and is still doing it."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I would like coming up in Boston, which how much time did you spend as a comic in Boston?
A lot. I mean, 82 to 86.
Okay, so we were brought up.
And then back there every other month.
But it was Comedy University because it was a closed system. The thing that was unusual about Boston, they didn't bring in outside headliners.
Very multicultural.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It looked like somebody spilled a bag of marshmallows.
Yeah, and they were all male marshmallows.
Yeah, right.
But the comedy that you were exposed to, and you were held accountable for your act in Boston.
No kidding. Like and if you stole somebody's joke,
you get beat up physically.
You get beat up.
Yeah.
You know you can swear on this. I'm
sure.
There was a fist fight between, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay Charbonneau and DJ Hazard.
Nice.
Over this joke.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Is your funny belt, is your hilarity harness tight? Is it just me, or does E.T. look like a piece of shit? Physical damage perpetuated on people.
That's great.
And there was another one. There was yeah, but it was like you had to be good. And if God help you if you stole somebody's.
No, there was a guy named Kevin Knox. Do you remember Knoxy?
Do I remember Knox?
And Knoxy had this joke that somebody stole from him, and he beat him up. And the joke was, do you know what AIDS stands for?
Oh, I know this joke.
Adios, infected dick sucker!
That was not Kevin's? Oh,
that was Kevin's, and someone stole it from him, and Kevin beat him up. I don't remember the kid's name.
And that's the thing, because that was the joke that I was citing the other day. There was stuff in Boston in the 80s that was comedy that today would just be hate speech.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
do you know Charbonneau's joke about AIDS?
No.
This was a joke.
Yeah.
anybody who would rather stick his dick in shit than a pussy deserves to die.
No.
And people are like,
yeah.
And even at the time, I was like, well, that's harsh. But it was just like, it was such a different world.
But it was a different world, but it also had different worlds in it. Like you had Nick's Comedy Stop.
And by the way, I just want to say, I don't necessarily agree with that.
We do not endorse the views held by Jay Charbonneau. But it had different sections to it. Like Nick's Comedy Stop was basically, it was run by the mob, and there were...
Absolutely. The mob depicted in the movie The Departed.
Yes. And the cops would stand in the back, and hookers would come in and out because it was in the red light district. And those were the jokes that got told there.
Yeah.
But then across town in Cambridge...
The red light district, which was called...
The combat zone.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because it's actually not the combat zone. It's actually the affectionate zone.
Exactly. Unless you refuse to be affectionate. Then it's the combat zone. But then across town in Harvard Yard, you've got Catch a Rising Star, which is being curated by this guy, Robin Horton.
Right.
And it's all very esoteric. It's political. It's experimental. It's where David Cross, basically, Mr. Show started in this club.
With Paul Kozlowski.
Paul Kozlowski and who else was a part of that? There was Mr. Show.
Jim DeCroto.
Dave Waterman.
Yep. Jim DeCroto was a part of that. Laura Keitlinger, maybe?
Keitlinger was. Marin was in and out of that. Garofalo was in and out of it. So anyway, it was the opposite of that world, and it was really like one side really, shit on the other side.
Yeah.
And then there were guys like us. I did both. I worked both worlds.
I did both too. I was kind of gone by that time. That was like 87, 88. I was already in San Francisco.
Okay.
But I did that when I came down here, when Janine and I got the alternative scene.
On Cabaret?
Yeah, and that's kind of started before on Cabaret. It was Big and Tall Books.
Uh-huh.
And it was me, Janine, Colin
Margaret
Quinn. Nope, before any of those people. Me, Janine, Colin Quinn, Stiller, and a couple other people. That was it.
Yeah.
At Big and Tall Books. Andy Dick and Dino Stampanopoulos.
Oh, wow.
And that was at Big and Tall. And then Margaret and Moon Zappa was around. That was at Big and Tall Books. And then it branched into Uncabaret. But I was also, and that was in response to the improv, because this was at the time where people forget, at the end of the 80s comedy boom, stand-up comedy was people were so exhausted by it that hack stand-up comedians was a sketch on SNL. Mm-hmm. Remember Tom Hanks and those guys? Here she comes. And there she goes. And it was making fun of Jerry Seinfeld before the show Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It was making fun of that. The suit jacket rolled up to your elbows, and the sneakers and everything,
with
the
the
piano
jeans.
tie,
Yep.
everything. And that was like a hackneyed stereotype that they made fun of on that show. And so Janine, it's so funny, it's full circle. Janine and I went to see Elvis Costello at the Universal Amphitheater, and we were looking at all those people saying, why aren't these people in comedy clubs?
Right.
And it's because they'd been chased out of comedy clubs with a stick.
Right.
And so we said, we have to go to where the audience is. The audience isn't coming to us anymore. So we went into this hipster bookstore and started doing shows, and that was the beginning of it. But at the same time, I was hanging out with Kevin Rooney all the time.
Uh-huh.
And Kevin Rooney and Bill Maher and Larry David and all those guys. So I was the only person in the alt scene, quote unquote, that did both.
And you were also going on the road, and you were headlining 8 rooms. Yeah.
Or by then I was middling for Rooney a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And the weird thing is, because of that, like I belonged to 2 classes. Like Larry David and Bill Maher and all those guys think that I'm in their class.
Yeah.
And Janine and Patton and those guys think that I'm in their class. And I am socially.
Yeah.
And age-wise.
Right.
But I was the only one that went back and forth. And when a lot of the guys that started off in the alt scene that kind of got known in the alt scene, then they would go on the road. and they would come back with like 2 black eyes. Like,
right.
yeah, no, you can't talk
Right.
about your audition in Cincinnati. They don't care.
I know.
They don't care.
It's interesting because and you know, there's guys that have been, and some women that were part of that scene that are still fucking going, you know?
Well, the person that took what they, I mean, I absolutely became the comedian that I am today in that scene. Like, I learned how to do what I do.
Get personal.
Yeah, and just not
talk.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But the person that really perfected it, that went from, they were fully formed and they were looking for an outlet, and then they found it there, and then were able to take it out into the masses without changing a goddamn thing. Kathy Griffin.
Yeah. Right.
Kathy walked into that fully formed as Kathy Griffin, and it was just looking for the right vehicle, and then bang, and then she took off. Yeah.
Well, I think Garofalo to some extent too, because, you know, people don't realize Janine was a club comic before she was an alternative comic. She was a successful headlining like joke out of Boston comic.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then she started hitting these rooms that were a little more esoteric and changed her style, and then went back on the road and
the whole
started
thing was
doing
her
theaters.
idea. The whole thing was her idea.
Yeah. Oh, was that right?
it was me, me and her and Colin.
Yeah. She's great. I love Janine.
Yeah, and still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. She's in New York, banging it out.
Yeah. She had one of my favorite jokes. And Janine has one of the most sophisticated senses of humor.
Yeah.
You know, like we loved Albert Brooks, but not even like Albert Brooks, like the most obscure bit from one of his albums, like the weird minor look or thing like that is the stuff that we would laugh at.
Yeah.
And I'll, to this day, if I see her, I'll say like the most obscure line from an Albert Brooks album, and she'll break up. She used to have a joke like when you do this and people go, the time? No. What bone is this? And that joke's from 1990, and it still makes me
hilarious.
laugh. Yeah, it still makes me laugh.
Yeah, I remember she had a joke where she was talking about it's one of those movies where like halfway through Robert Duvall has to wake the president.
She had I don't even remember what the joke was, but it was about the warrant video for the song Cherry Pie. And at one point it invoked the phrase, down at Warrant HQ.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about you now. You're writing, you're doing, what's it called, Captain? Who's your mask character? I am such not a nerd. Dr. Z.
Hello. No, yeah, I have two. I have Dr. Z, but that's my hobby. That's my fun.
Right.
And I have my little podcast and stuff like that. And then
it's not your little podcast. It's like a kind of a piece of art. Like you put more effort into your podcast than anybody does.
But
I feel like it's like Bob Dylan's radio hour.
But for no reason.
Yeah.
Because no one cares.
But,
it's completely stolen from Theme Time Radio.
Yeah.
It's completely stolen from Theme Time. And a guy named Joe Frank, who passed.
Okay.
Joe Frank had a show on NPR here in LA in the early 90s called In the Dark.
Uh-huh.
And it was on Sunday mornings. And everybody listened to In the Dark. And he would use these sound loops, just like just like music. And he had this very hypnotic voice, and he would tell a story about 5 men that had been working in sales, and they started to decide that they were going to climb Mount Everest.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, and he goes, and it's fascinating, and and you're listening, and then like, 4 days into the trip, Mike and Carl realized they couldn't go on, stopped at the place and opened up a small gift shop. And then it would just slowly unravel into these like brilliant, like so brilliant and so great.
So it's just him narrating and then different sound effects and
yeah, and people would come on. I would go on it. David Cross went on it a lot because he went to Uncabaret a lot, and he kind of like. But the story, you can hear them still in the dark. Joe Frank, they were really like Tom Waits kind of stories, like really brilliant and would unspool so slowly.
Yeah.
But he had these music beds under it that looped you in. That you couldn't turn it off. And he did like a crazy play-by-play of the OJ. Like he would do like the OJ trial.
Oh, really?
And he would do recreations of the OJ trial and interview people involved in the trial.
Yeah.
No, it's just like and again it was a lot like Phil Hendry. Like if you didn't know it was a joke when you first turned it on, you would be like, what?
Right.
And when Maron's podcast went big, everyone's
gone now.
R.I.P.
Here's the thing. When mine ends, you'll know because I didn't show up, and it's not in the feed. Yeah. I'm not gonna have a party. I'm not gonna have the president on. We get it.
You got the president on.
He got the president on for his last podcast.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, if you have that kind of energy, just keep doing the fucking podcast.
Yeah. So what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'll know the end is on when I have, when I
sleep in.
It's when I just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
No, it's amazing. But people just say, you should do a podcast like Maron's.
Yeah.
To which I would say, why? What is the point of doing something like that?
Yeah, right.
I want to. So I eventually came up with the idea of what I did. I like the idea. The original idea was do an interview, cut it up into segments, put music underneath it, and then scramble the segments.
Yeah.
So you're just like walking through a party, overhearing snatches of conversation.
I like that.
Yeah. And then it got very confusing for people, so I put them in linearly, but I still break it up with music, and I have it's like 10 segments, and then it kind of grew into its own monster. But it's just like what you want it to be special. You want it to be something. And yes, my current podcast is 4 hours and 10 minutes. And
is it really?
The current episode, the Halloween episode, always has it's 2 very long interviews and 2 25-minute deep dives into topics. And I don't know. Again,
do you edit it?
Cue my manager.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I do.
You edit it all yourself.
But I have 2 people put it together for me, but I go through the interviews and edit them. Yeah. Wow. But then and there's audio drop. I don't know why. I can't do it it's like stand up. Why do you do? I don't know why. I can't. It's the only thing I do.
Interesting.
And then I write to make actual money because none of that stuff makes money. People ask me like, what's the deal with Dr. Z? I'm going to do it till I make a profit and then I'll stop.
Well, now we're working with the same agency.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it.
Well, you should be excited about the Midwest in January and February because that seems to be his gift. He's got this talent for getting me in the Midwest in January and February.
I am so happy, and this sounds like really sweaty, but like I'm so grateful that I still get to do it.
Yes,
because there are not a ton of people from our class that are still out there. You could say a lot of people escaped, but other people are like, no, I love that I can still put people in seats in Cincinnati or Acme or someplace like that.
Yeah.
And I feel, and I know you feel the same way, like when I get off stage after an hour or 50 minutes, I'm like, that is as good as that can be.
Yeah.
That art, that craft.
Right.
Like, I'm not the greatest, but that nobody walked out of that going, I don't think.
Right.
It's like, nope, that's as good as that is.
Well, and I know that a lot of these clubs, because you see the flyers and the posters about who's coming up and you find out who was just there. And I do walk off stage going like, what I just did is, I'm not saying better. It is different than anything else that those people are doing. And I feel like I'm doing it at a level that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
And that's always been my barometer. Like I've always felt like I want my peers to respect me. I want to do material that people don't ever call hacky.
Right.
But at the same time, it's equally shared with, I want these people to walk out happy. I don't want to, like, I think there's a way to do politics and talk about culture anywhere. Go there. Yes. If it's funny enough, it works anywhere.
And what I do is I don't talk about Trump or the Republican. I talk about my brother.
Right.
Because everybody has a brother that drives them crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to talk about anti-vaxxers, but I will talk about my brother doesn't want to get vaccinated. Mm-hmm. And if I talk about guns, I say I have a gun. I have a hilarious joke to inoculate. I say, before anybody gets, I have a gun because I live in a big, scary city, and I'm afraid the day might come when I have to kill my family. Or somebody I meet that I disagree with, or a guy likes a band that I don't, and it escalates, I want a gun. But so you kind of like, but then that puts people at ease because even if you are a political troglodyte, if you paid to get into a club, I don't want you to feel bad. Yeah. I don't, that might be my bad, but right. Like, I don't want you to feel, and it is, and this is a larger issue. People do have more in common than they have differences. Yes. But there's no money in it. Right. And all of the things that we are fed during the day are designed for confirmation bias and to provoke conflict, because conflict keeps you on the app. And the longer you're on the app, the higher their ad rates. It's called conflict entrepreneurship. And it is a cancer in our culture. Right. It really is. Yeah. And stand-up has become an extension of podcasting. Everything has. But I think the podcasting has affected the kind of comedy you're seeing, especially with the bigger acts. It's an extension of, they've got 5 million listeners, and now they're going to come to your town and do stand-up. Now they're going to want you to do the kind of opinionated, in your face. Of course. I'm so right. Yeah. I want to go on stage and go, I'm questioning some shit. Here's some things I know, but I'm not going to fucking pontificate and shove anything down your throat. Right. Yeah. And that's the whole, and that's an aspect of comedy that I don't get when I feel like, I was talking to Goldthwait, like sometimes I feel like I should be performing in a museum. did you see the documentary about John Candy? No. Okay. It's really brilliant. Yeah. And it'll make you cry. Uh-huh. John Candy was hilarious. So funny. And his whole persona was of a guy that was out of shape, felt bad about it, doubted himself, made mistakes, was a loser, and owned it and tried to do better. And that's who he was in life. He was so human. Yeah. Right. That, to me, is what comedy is. A person that is vulnerable and you can relate to them because, like Richard Pryor, all that first concert movie of talking about all the things that he's effed up in his life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and that's the whole muscle thing. It's like, there's nothing funny about a guy with jacked muscles. Yeah. There's nothing vulnerable. Yeah. It's not vulnerable. Yeah. It's not relatable. It's not. You can do that, but you're not funny. Yeah. Right. And I remember Keenan Wayans going on stage at the Improv with these polo shirts on and just these giant ham biceps, mm-hmm. and guys don't laugh. Right. Because it's threatening. Right. I think Eddie Murphy went down that road too. I mean, when he was young enough to not have an ego about how he looked, and then he started to think how beautiful he was, and he only made movies where he played a super cool guy. Yeah. And all of a sudden it was like, this guy's not interesting at all. At all. Yeah. But he corrected. Yeah. Oh, did he? Yeah. Well, I think so. I think with Dolomite Is My Name. Yeah. That was great. That was great. Yeah. I mean, I will see. I love Eddie Murphy. Yeah. I will see, even his bad movies I go see. But those movies like The Clumps and The Nutty Professor, he should get an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Like, you sit at a table in 7 different makeups and do 7 completely specific, unique characters that I can still quote. I mean, he is like Peter Sellers. He's bringing something down from outer space.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
just too good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought because when he did SNL, the last one that was the 50th anniversary show, it was very funny.
Yeah.
The one before that, he came out and he just talked like a cool guy and didn't even try to be funny. And you're like, dude, come back.
I also think he hates Lorne and he didn't want to do anything.
Oh, is that
funny
right?
For Lorne. That's my guess.
Did you ever audition for SNL?
Oh, my SNL audition story is funny.
Really?
Yeah. And this has been confirmed on other podcasts by the other 2 participants.
Okay.
I was brought to Chicago, flown with 2 other comics to audition for SNL.
From San Francisco?
From LA.
Uh-huh.
And we performed along with Stephen Leo, if you remember Stephen Leo.
Yeah, Leo Allen and...
Steve Rudnick and Leo Benvenuti.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of a different...
They went on to write the Santa Claus movies for Tim Allen.
Okay.
But there was like Stephen Leo and then us 3.
Yeah.
And I had the set of the night. I had characters whittled to a fine point, and everything was just like, and the response was like Stephen Leo, the other guy, me, and the other guy.
Don Knotts?
It was just one of everything.
Yeah.
Everything. My God. It was just, and we all walked out of there thinking, I got it.
Yeah.
All of us. And I, in my head, was immediately thinking about, like, do I get rid of my apartment? Do I sublet my apartment? What kind of boxes do I buy? Do I get in my car? And I'm looking at these 2 other guys. We went out after for a drink. And nobody, we all, like, were keeping our cards close to our chest. But we all thought I had. And I'm looking at these guys going, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, this is my time. You guys will get your chance. Don't get too close. Yeah. I'm burning too brightly right now. And what happened.
Yeah.
10 years later, my first wife was an executive, and she goes to New York and she meets with Chris Rock about something. And she comes back and she says, you know that story you tell about SNL? And I go, yeah. She goes, it's true.
What, that you killed?
I go, what do you mean? She goes, that like you killed and thought you got it, and that he did too. Because Chris just told me that same story.
Really?
And I was like, well, so you think I've been lying for 10 years?
Oh my God.
But I think but again, it all worked out. Like, that's why whenever terrible things happen, I'm like, you don't know how this is going to work out. If I got in that show, I would not have my kids.
Oh, okay.
Because we hadn't been dating long enough to survive that. And then we wouldn't have our kids. So.
And you probably wouldn't have been on The Simpsons.
And I probably wouldn't have done well on the show because I don't do well in that kind of cutthroat.
Yeah, nobody comes out the other side feeling good. Even like Will Ferrell talks about how intensely anxious he was the whole time and miserable. And it's like, but you did it for like 15 years or something.
No, Hader said he wouldn't sleep. Like starting like on Thursday, he would stop sleeping.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't sleep until the show was over.
And yet he stayed on the show forever, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't have survived that at all.
God, what is that? I wonder how many people even watch the show anymore,
I think I'm sure with clips
but I think they watch the clips.
The special thing is where the ironically named special.
Yeah, right.
That like, I remember like when having a special and having an album was like, you made it.
Yeah.
And now the MC has an album.
Yeah. Right.
It's just a different...
And they're all selling it after the show.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind if I sell my doilies after the show? And then the other guy goes, do you mind if I got welcome mats? And you're like, okay, so by the time I pitch my pins, it's going to sound like we've got a fucking bazaar going in the lobby.
Mr. Haney from Green Acres. I have no stick pans. Can I sell those? Yeah, no, I know but everything has changed. Like our business has changed drastically with everybody else's.
Yeah.
And like, I thought I had social media down. I don't know 10% of what I should know.
You were a big Twitter guy. I always used to read your tweets. You always had great tweets.
Yeah.
Do you still do Twitter?
No, I left when he took it over.
You did?
When he put the X on the building, I was out. Because I used to work in that building.
Really?
In San Francisco. Yeah. It was Live 105 was downstairs. And it was just so gross.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to funnel any more money into this jerk's pocket.
Right.
I'm on Blue Sky and Threads, but it's not the same. And neither is X anymore. It's a cesspool. But just in terms of like posting clips and Instagram and like I thought I had it good, but it's a full-time
job. If you're not waking up every morning,
you have to walk around like this.
Yeah.
All right, buying plums.
Right.
Plum life. It's like Jesus Christ.
I know. It's like I sometimes look up and I go, oh my God. I post the podcast every week. Like there's a little thumbnail about the podcast.
Yeah.
Other than that, sometimes a month will go by and I go, oh, I didn't post anything.
Yeah.
Like nothing. And you realize like the way we used to fight to get on late night TV, like you said, like it meant something or to get a special. Like that energy should be shifted over to something that I'm not interested in at all. Like doing late night TV was playing the sport that I play.
Yeah. Well put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I got to be a producer and an editor and a marketer.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to do it all. We're so close to going to the club. Like you have a mic, right?
Yeah, right. I know. They don't do anything.
You bringing your feature? No.
Yeah. No, actually, they're
not
coming around.
With people.
They're realizing how stupid that was. And there was a period where they did that. And I'm finding now, because I have a Google alert set for my name. And I'll see every day there'll be 5 or 6, social media posts from the clubs that I have coming up, which is brand new.
Right.
It's like, why is that brand new? And meanwhile, when you work the club, if you get a percentage of the door, it always says minus expenses.
Right.
So you get a percentage of the net, and they'll take out sometimes $15,000-$20,000 in expenses, and you go to your agent. Well, what are they spending? Marketing. I haven't seen a fucking tweet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. There's no newspaper articles. They've got no radio lined up for me. What's the $15,000?
Yeah.
But now they're starting to spend it.
If it goes, it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to promote your own shit, and then you got to do the kind of shows that nothing's ever going to beat you killing, and them coming back with friends to see you next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And that's the kind of what I've been counting on all these years, is just do good shows.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting what has happened in the financial crisis in 2008. This giant pile of money was taken out of the economy, and it was never put back. And then, in an attempt to...
In other words, it was given to bankers who just put it in there.
Well, it was the bankers who set it on fire.
Yeah.
And that whole crash.
Yeah.
And then they were bailed out.
Yeah.
But the money was never put back in.
Right.
So everybody is fighting for a smaller pile of money.
Yeah.
And then to spur the economy to regrow that pile, we gave them all of these tax breaks that we had to pay for, and then they took that and they kept that too.
Right.
Which is why now, one thing that we have now that we didn't have then are a lot of billionaires.
Yeah.
We didn't have billionaires before. Now we have them and everybody is fighting over a smaller and smaller and smaller pile of money.
Yeah.
Now to that, then you have you add the rise of social media, where everybody is the star of their own movie, and there's no more universal entertainment.
Right.
We don't all go to watch, Letterman or it's like appointment television. All that stuff is by and large gone. So we are doing, fewer people are going out because they have less money. And if you want to prove it, like, look, you didn't have to also be a cab driver.
Yeah.
You You didn't, it's like, your car is a cab, your house is a hotel, and the great new restaurant is a truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not coincidence.
Right.
So it's left for you are not only fighting harder for less money, but you have to pick up all that slack and do all of this stuff yourself.
Yeah.
So it's just the result of the fact that we are fighting harder for less money because of what happened.
Well, I think that all well said, and I think that's
also my pickup. Like, if you were a woman, I would have just closed it
with the mask on.
Yeah.
As Mark
It's not,
Twain.
by the way, the hands. The hands are the worst part. It's not even the mask. Because I still have to use the bathroom.
But I think it's the same for jobs. Like, as AI replaces jobs and as corporations squeeze, and they bring in consultants, and then they say, well, this person could actually do both those jobs.
Yeah.
And then you're working longer hours for less money.
Yeah.
And you're having to somehow like waitress on the weekends because you're getting paid less to do more.
Yeah, and again, George Carlin saw all this 30 years ago and has a bit about it. He's like, they don't want, if you watch his bit about education, he goes, there's a reason your education is not going to get better. They don't want you smart. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm not, but I do believe that people have the same interests, and corporations do better with a workforce that is not hampered by critical thinking, and just do it.
Yeah,
and shut up. And I do agree that even if it's not spoken, there's no motivation to have really smart, well-adjusted people that can see through the bullshit.
Wait, are you saying the appointment of the wife of professional wrestling to the head of education was not meant to improve it in some way?
Yeah, if only this started, yes, I think she is a good person. But she looks like somebody who, like an alien, had just taken all of the liquid out of their body. It's like the missing link between man and crouton. But this started in the 80s.
Yeah.
With the Reagan when they started to defund public education.
Right.
And now the latest shell game is school vouchers.
Yeah.
What that does is give your tax breaks to wealthy people.
Yeah, because they give $10,000 to a family to send their kid to private school, which costs $50,000 a year, which means none of the poor people can do anything with that $10,000, but the rich person who was already sending their kid
saves $10,000.
Is saving $10,000 off the 50. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and meanwhile, resources are allocated to the public schools based on the number of kids in that school. So now you take 20 kids out of that school,
they get less.
There's $200,000 less that the public school gets.
Yeah, I don't know where this ends.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, we are at a weird. I think we're at the beginning of the end of the end of the beginning of either a good tip or a bad a good tip or a bad tip. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the changes happen. Every time we put a new president in, they go, well, look, his economy and it's like, no, this is not a sailboat, a small sailboat that cuts back and forth. It's a giant oil tanker.
Yeah.
And it turns very slowly, and it's very hard to turn it back and get it back on course again.
Yeah. Rick Overton used to say that the country is a Mack truck, and every 4 years we put like an eagle or a bulldog on the hood.
Yeah.
But I actually think there's more to it than that, as recent events have shown. But yeah, no, it is. And, I don't know if, there's such... It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens in New York if Zohran Mamdani is elected mayor, and if he does a really good job. Mm-hmm. And people might realize, because people like socialism. Mm-hmm. Like, well, do you like the army and the post office?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Do you like to retire?
Yeah. Exactly. There's again, like keep your filthy hands off, keep your government hands out of my Medicare. It's like people don't even, and they've just been instructed to not like these things. It'll be interesting to see, because I don't understand Henry Ford paid his workers enough to buy the car they made.
Yeah.
You can't do that now.
Right. All right, listen, Dana Gould, let's get to Fastballs with Fitz.
I was going to say, this is like, you don't get this on Fallon. It's like, let's get back to Blindfolded Gnip-Gnop. Alan Dershowitz for $20.
All right. Have you ever joined a club?
Like an organization?
Any kind of organization.
I'm a member of a tennis club.
Are you?
Well, yeah, but it's more of a...
Athletic.
I use the gym.
Yeah, right.
Because it's me and a bunch of 80-year-old guys, and I'm sunny.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I joined the Friars Club in New York for that reason. I was the youngest guy. That was the best.
I got like poached to do I had lunch with Milton Berle.
You did?
Yeah, at the LA Friars Club.
Nice.
Bud Friedman took me over.
That's really cool.
And I couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah, yeah. The LA one was horrible.
I smelled like his cigar.
Yeah.
And it was the week Nevermind came out.
Uh-huh.
And it was so like full of youth and energy, and then it's like,
right.
Duke Mitchell, that's a singer, And I got out of there, and I was like, blasting that music and trying to get the cigar out of my hair.
Somebody was asking me about the LA one. It was the opposite of the New York one.
Yeah.
What project do you regret?
That I did?
Yeah.
I offered to be to be a good guy. I agreed to be in the documentary about Apu.
Oh.
And then was edited to look like an asshole.
No shit.
Yeah.
An asshole in what way?
The same question was asked of me 11 times until I finally went, I don't know. And then that's what they use, and you look like a jerk. Yeah. Because they needed a villain. So why not use this guy that's doing us a favor?
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
What's the closest you ever got to a fight on stage?
At Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco, I literally stopped the show, and the police had to come to get rid of this person. And I looked back on that. I got to the point where I was like, did that really happen? Have you ever done that? Like, did that happen? Or did I imagine that?
Yeah.
And then about a month ago, a guy said, I was there one night, and I was so excited. I was in San Francisco for one night, and I went to a comedy club, and then you stopped it, and the police came. So, yeah, it sounds like me. It sounds like me.
I was in Tampa Bay at the Tampa Bay Improv, which is one of my least favorite clubs in the country.
Yeah, I did that. I didn't like that.
Oh. And it's one of those things where, again, somebody came up to me years later and reconfirmed what I thought was a dream. Two dwarfs had a fight in the audience and were thrown out by the bouncers. Thrown out.
And was that the origin of dwarf throwing?
I think so. That was the first place.
Wow.
Who's the worst?
Was it like a fight because one was pressuring the other to join the Lollipop Guild?
He said, you're looking down on me. Who's the worst opener that you ever had on the road?
Perry Kurtz.
Who's that?
He's now dead. He looked like Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo, but he would strip. And he had a motorcycle called the Perry Cycle. And he was just, you'd have to look him up. He got killed like crossing the street a couple of years ago. But we're staying in the condo.
Where was this?
Florida. Or South Carolina, someplace. And he's got herpes medication. One of the things. So I go, and he goes, yeah, I have herpes. I go, oh, so I'm like, how's that? How is that? I'm sorry. And then he's trying to pick up this waitress who's like 18. And I say, Be careful, he has herpes.
You told her.
Hell yes. And he was furious.
Of course he was. He's trying to spread the love.
Yeah, she's a kid.
Yeah.
You'll ruin her life.
Oh my
You'll
God.
ruin her life. And he was and then he was purportedly, while I was on stage, calling the booker going, he can't follow me. You really got to flip the order. Which I was like, great, I can do less time. Be my guest. But yeah, no, it was just terrible. It was terrible. And it's funny because you see these guys that are just back in the day. These guys would be like, they go on stage and they're terrible.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, they're fine.
Yep.
They're just dumb.
Yep.
It was like, yeah, we can go see Fatal Attraction together at the mall.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No, anybody's better than alone sometimes on the road.
Yeah.
Who do you want to give your eulogy?
Well, I was going to ask you.
I'll be dead before you.
I don't know about that. Not with my enemies. Who do I want to give my eulogy? My daughters know. God, that's a great question. I don't really want one.
Really? You're Irish. You got to have an Irish funeral.
No, I know. Maybe my
people tell you funny stories.
Maybe somebody that my friend Candace would do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Bobcat or Tom Kenny.
Oh yeah, maybe Bob. Bob would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob would be good.
He'd be really good.
Yeah, he'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just did a thing. A friend of mine had a birthday, and they said, "Do you want to do a video tribute to Maria?" And I was like, "What the hell happened?" And she goes, "No, it's her birthday." I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" So my video tribute was, I thought she had died, so I did write a eulogy. I'm just going to do that.
That's great.
I talked about how she was killed by a bear. And I'm not saying that bears can't be our friends. But this bear will suffer swift retribution. And you're probably asking yourselves, how will I know? It's the bear. I won't. And I don't think it matters. I think any bear sends a message. To that end, it's probably easier for me to just go to a zoo and kill one there, which I'm going to do.
That's good.
Yeah. Or somebody that never met me would be fun. I heard he was nice.
There's 2 types of people in the world. Go.
Father, and this I'm quoting Jim Vallely, and you can also take this to the other gender. Fathers and sons. There are people who take care of people, and there are people who wait to be taken care of.
Okay.
Those are 2 kinds of people in the world.
I like that.
And you don't have to have children to be one or the other.
Right.
You're like, my friend Candace, who I just mentioned, is a mother. She's not a daughter.
Right.
She is there to take care of people.
And you're a father.
I am a father. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm so averse to, like, when my wife will hug me, I'll tense up. She's like, "Oh, look at him. He wants to go change a light bulb. He wants to go fix something." Yeah.
All right. Last question.
You're a father too.
Thank you.
You're not like expecting to be taken care of.
No, it's actually to a fault. I wish I could.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. I wish I could accept more.
Yeah.
But, I feel like I'm locked in at this point, and I was sent here to be a father, and I'm just going to keep being a father. Yeah. I don't think I can change it at this point.
No, I won't sit still for a blowjob. I'm like, I can't. I got to get out of here. This feels too good. Something's wrong.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Although I am good on vacations.
You pulled me over to give me a ticket, and now this.
I will talk to your boss, sir.
I'd like to meet your supervisor.
I am good on vacations, though. Like, I can get into being taken care of on a vacation.
But what do you want to do on your vacation?
I want to do things. I want to go somewhere like interesting, Central America, Europe, explore. I'm not a sit on a beach chair guy.
That's what I want to do. Nothing.
Oh, interesting.
I want to go because I do every day. Height of the pandemic, I was up at 8, dressed, wearing a belt,
Shaving, yeah.
to-do list every day.
Yeah.
Created the show. Dr. Z came out of the pandemic. Like, I can't not.
Yeah.
But on vacation, I was like, I just want to sit.
Nice.
Read a book.
Yeah.
Walk around.
That's great. You can do that.
I can on vacation. I don't want to win vacation.
Right.
But
Okay.
but then,
We should not vacation together.
No, my wife is like, you just got to just do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to go explore an abandoned mine.
I do. I really do.
I did in Norway. Like, great. And if the elevator gets stuck, we're dead, right? That's where we die. Because we're a mile underground and no one's coming. No, just checking. So if this door doesn't open, we're rolling the dice.
And then
Great.
tomorrow, jet skis? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
That was the most fun I've ever had.
In a mine shaft?
My first wife and I went to Bora Bora in French Polynesia. And we got jet skis. And we're just tooling around Bora Bora on jet skis.
Yeah.
And it was euphoric.
Yeah.
Like, I've never... And it's impossible for me to be on a jet ski and not in my head go, ba-da, 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 ba-da. Can't do it. And it was just heavily. And we got back from that vacation, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so relaxed. I'm going to be like rubber for weeks. In fact, let me write down the date because I want to find out when I get tense again. What is it? September 10th, 2001. Okay. I'm going to be so relaxed for so long.
September 10th, 2001?
Yeah. I'm going to be so relaxed for so long. Next morning, turn on the TV.
Oh, God.
And so that happens, and I was working on The Simpsons at the time, and there was no one's going in. So finally, I just said, well, everybody come over to my house because I was kind of centrally located. So by now it's like 2 p.m. Everything had happened. My wife and the Simpsons staff was coming over to my house. And I was like, we don't have any food because we had just been on vacation. So I said, all right, I'll go to the store. And I went to Rock and Roll Ralph's because we lived up behind the Chateau Marmont. And I just bought a bunch of hot dogs and buns and potato chips because quick food for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, you're having a party. And I was like, yes and no. But I could have been profiled. Like, what? Who is this? Yeah.
Final question, and then we'll plug your dates, and we'll let you go. What's the hackiest bit you've ever done?
I think I'm doing it now. No, I am. I came up with this bit. I'm going to do the bit.
Okay.
I'm going to do the bit. And my wife went, no. It starts off super hacky.
Okay.
What I like about Halloween, this is really hacky, but it's got a good structure to it. What I like about Halloween is it's the first time kids are professionally lied to. Fun-size candy bars. It's a lot less candy than you thought you were going to get. That means it's more fun. Explain that. Seems to me it would be less fun. For your convenience, we now have self-checkout. How is me doing your job for free convenient for me? That's the definition of less convenient. And my favorite, due to larger than normal call volumes, you may experience extended wait times. You've had larger than normal call volumes for 25 years. Your call volumes are your call volumes. Due to the larger than normal greed of your boss, you won't hire enough people to answer the phone. So why don't you self-check out a fun-sized candy bar and go fuck yourself? But it's pretty... Those are 3 Three turds
well,
put together.
Look, they're well-trod areas, but you bring it all together with a point of view.
If I didn't have the ending, it would be pretty creepy.
Yeah. Now that's going to be a closer at some point.
Yeah, not now. But I do. It's just a Carlin bit, by the way. It's a complete. That math at the end is just a Carlin bit.
Yeah. You can see that bit at the Comedy Studio in Boston on November 8th, where he'll be doing 2 shows. San Francisco Punchline, maybe my favorite club in the country.
The first time we met.
That's right. I opened for you. And you...
How the mighty have fallen.
Well, you were nice enough to go. You had to do radio in the morning to promote the show. And you go, do you want to come and do a radio show? And I'd never done a radio show before.
Kidding me?
I was so excited.
And how did you thank me?
So we do the radio show. And we get in a taxi to come home. And we're talking to our driver the whole time. And he's Muslim. And we pull up.
And you?
And I go, you want to come up to our room and party? It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
But it was... You're a pretty handsome guy. It wasn't a drug. It wasn't a drug party.
Yeah. That's right. I told him he was a good-looking guy.
Yeah, a good-looking guy. You want to come to a room party with us?
At 8 in the morning.
And he got out. Do you remember what he did?
No.
He got out and did it. Bowed toward Mecca on the sidewalk.
That's right.
And by the way, I'm not making that up. That's the part I remember.
That's right.
I remember 2 things. I remember 2 things about that. He had one of those beaded things on the back of his chair that cab drivers used to have, those wooden beads to keep your back from getting sore.
I remember that, yeah.
And then he took out his dad, and we were walking to the hotel, and you went, oh my God.
And then at the final night of the gig, you gave me a gift, and it was it was a dime store novel called Hollywood Homo, which is on my bookshelf right now. Dana Gould. Oh, also Solana Beach on December 22nd. Dana Gould.
Thank you for reminding me of that gig.
It wasn't on your website. I had to find it on another source. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And
9 times out of 10, I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but I will find out I have a gig I get tagged on Instagram. I'm like, oh, is that tonight?
Exactly. That's how you found out about this podcast today.
No, I remembered this one.
DanaGould.com, and also check out Dana on local shows all the time.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love these.
Aren't these great?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Paul Roman and the Green Lab Studios.
Where are you going?
On the road?
Where are your gigs?
I got the Den Theater coming up in Chicago in a couple weeks. And then I'm going to Skankfest in New Orleans for the weekend. And then I've got the Punchline December 11th to the 13th.
There you go.
Then I'll be at Bananas in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, the week of Christmas.
I think I've been there.
Then I'll
the
be
week of Christmas.
Cleveland after
You're gonna be
that.
sitting in that hotel with a gun in your mouth.
That's right. Praying to whatever Lord there is out there.
Yeah.
Cleveland Hilarities, Atlanta Punchline, Sacramento Punchline.
No, those are. I like Sacramento.
Philadelphia Helium.
Those are all good gigs.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy winter. I don't work in the summer, so I push all my gigs together in the winter because nobody comes to see me in the summer. The clubs are empty. Everybody's at the beach. It gets dark at 9 o'clock at night. Nobody's coming inside. And then the club owner goes, yeah, we got to give you 30% less next time because you can't draw.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested in what's going to happen now because usually where I was before was like a lot of my gigs happened like 2 weeks before I left. It's like, okay, who canceled?
Right. Yeah, and then you get a crowd of black people. You're like, oh, was it Ari Spears? Did I replacing Ari Spears?
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you.
Great to see you, buddy.
Great to see you, too.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Our only holiday.
Oh, we should have dressed up for this. Shit.
I have to dress up tonight.
Okay.